All right, today is February 24th, Wednesday, February 24th, 2026, and I am 17 weeks and 6 days pregnant. Tomorrow I'll be 18 weeks. Congratulations to me. Today I actually want to talk about something heavier. I also want to talk about Costco's return policy, so if anybody has any insight on that. Like, this couch is like not that old and all the seams are like falling apart. Anyways, I digress. This pregnancy has brought up a lot for me, and then this week has brought up a lot for me, especially around intimate partner violence. So domestic violence is like more properly known as intimate partner violence. And, it's all forms of abuse, right? Most people, when they think of abuse, they think physical, but it's emotional, mental, psychological, physical, financial, spiritual. There's a whole wheel, the wheel of abuse. And, I went to court with somebody who I experienced financial abuse with, and probably you could say mental, emotional, psychological. And then with Isabel's sperm donor, I guess at this point, I don't know. He is not in our lives because he's not a safe person, right? It was everything. And minus the physical contact, right? He punched holes in the wall. He'd physically get up and intimidate you and block doorways and let you know how big he was, right? He'd make threats. So, and I was granted a restraining order. I was granted emergency temporary custody for imminent danger, and then I have full custody now. We were put under a DHS observation when this whole thing really blew up, and I finally got the help and the support that I needed. I will share that story on a much different day because there's so much to it. But IPV, intimate partner violence. And just how different it is, and how different being a survivor is, and how different it is to be with that type of person versus betrayal. And cheating and that kind of thing, because it's just different. Abuse changes your brain psychology. And it's little apples and oranges. And so this week, I never faced Izzy's dad in court because he didn't show up. He only contested the restraining order, not custody, not parenting time, just the restraining order. And then he didn't show up in court. So, drop 10 G's on a family lawyer for him to not show up. But some of the best 10 G's I've ever spent, tell you what. Because here we are. And, so, but this time I had to face him in court. I faced the other one in court. And this was a much shorter timeline. And, I don't know what his diagnosis is, but there's definitely alcoholism involved. Isabel's dad was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. So again, it's just these are just different beasts. They're all different. And then there was somebody, and then I went through this kind of, friend / paid mentor advisor, person who I adored and was their biggest fan. I've sent so many people to see them because I love her so much. but she shared she was in the abuse cycle and was getting out of it. And is, now choosing to stay. And, it takes the average, it takes a woman an average of 7 times of leaving to actually finally leave. And it probably took me more. For all the reasons, right? Fear, gaslighting, trauma bonding, judgment of the outside. Because, while it's absolutely horrific going through it, getting out of it, and people making comments about why didn't you leave sooner? But you're so smart. Why didn't you? But you're so capable. You're so independent. You're so this. You're so all the things of how could that happen to you? How did you let that happen to you? As if you let it happen to you. And the just absolute crumbling of everything around that, right? It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And you've been so brainwashed that the devil you know sometimes doesn't seem so devilly. And it's really hard for people who have not experienced abuse to understand, even years later. Because the abuse cycle, the trauma cycle, something can happen and it can trigger you right back to that first healing stage. There's 3 different healing stages, and women in certain, professionals, or they, upper middle class, cultural, whatever it is, a lot of us don't share because there's so much stigma about it and there's so much judgment about it. You get judged for being abused. You get judged for staying. You get judged for existing. And I'm going through that right now with having to, go through this separation because it's, it's triggering me. And I don't want to go back when I've done so much work, and I want to feel safe. And my safety comes first. And, I had a friend who also worked with this person and, confided in her that this was happening, and she's calling her every day and checking in with her every day and just being so supportive. And then all of a sudden she got ghosted because, now we're pretty sure it's because she decided to stay. And then it gets turned on us that we're the bad guys. And it just makes me so sad. It just makes me so sad for all of us who've gone through it, and all of us who've gone back, and all of us who've experienced it. And God, it just sucks. And it's so hard you can't explain it to somebody who hasn't been through it. And even me trying to explain it to, a friend, they got very defensive of her, which is okay. And it's just a reminder that not everybody's going to get it. So it's if you're someone who's been abused, if you're someone who's gone through the abuse cycle, I get it. And I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And I have some big dreams around that. I'm not sure how they come to fruition yet, but I have another friend that we eventually want to create something, and you know. So, like, yes, today I'm tired. Yes, I'm pregnant. Yes, I can feel him. What else? I'm getting sick more easily, you know, or like re-lingering. But, like, I'm just sad. I'm just sad. I'm sad for the people out there who don't have somebody who's ever going to get it. And I have plenty of people in my life who are never going to get it. But I have several who do. My therapist, she's the one who helped me get out of this whole thing. You know, I'm actually in her doctorate thesis, and like I'll be in her book. And, you know, my other friend who I called today about this whole thing, you know. So I know I have some people who get it. And I'm so grateful for that. And my heart aches for those people who don't have it, or who are still being gaslit by other people about it. Because it just sucks. Oh. I don't even know what else to say. But like, if this one resonated, if you're a survivor, or if you're in it and you need help getting out of it, like, please, 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 please reach out. I will always believe you. And any resource I have, any resource I can find, like, I will give you. And even if you don't know what to do. And actually, oh, you know what? That reminds me of another story. Sorry, this one's long. This is going to be a long, I don't know how much we're going to edit this one, but, you know, I had some people I was with this summer. And the wife reached out to me and she was like, I have this friend. She's going through this terrible domestic violence situation. Like, what do I do? How do I help her? And like, you know, and I gave her some resources and I listened and I was like, you know, and then her friend decided not to leave, and her friend was too scared to leave. And she was like really upset. She was upset that her friend like wasn't leaving. And I'm like, you just don't get it. Like, you just don't get it. And the other thing is too, like, let's be real. How many times have women left and gotten killed? How many times have women left and the court is not with them or for them, and they end up in a worse place? We're going through the whole, like, this, it is February 24th, 2026. We're going through the whole Epstein Files thing right now. There's how many women out there who've been talking about this for years, and we didn't believe them. We have to have these whatever to, like, believe it. Why? Why? Why can't we believe women? So, that's where I'm at today. I'm sure I'll have more tomorrow, but that's where I'm at today.